Sonder, the realization that each stranger is living as life as vivid as complex as your own. A story filled with their own dreams, struggles, and moments that often go unseen. I'm your host Henry Mendez, and welcome to It's Under Control. Hey everyone, I hope everyone's having a good day. But before we dive in to this episode about my fourth grade challenges, I wanted to give you a quick life update. And yeah, let's get started. Anyways, I recently went to my friend's party, and it was an experience unlike any other. And to be honest, I never really went to parties growing up, like not in middle school, like and even high school. And part of it was from my parents, and part of it was just me. It wasn't really my thing, like my scene to go. Well, I mean, okay, I kind of lied. I went to one party in freshman year for an hour or two, but I left early because I had a feeling that something might go down, and it did. While I was waiting outside for my dad, this group of people came up to me and asking me who I was, what school, like where I went, what school I went to, and like if I knew anyone there. I felt awkward, but I brushed it off as no big deal. Then my dad came by, but he didn't see me, so he drove right past, so I had to wait for him again. And the group of people saw him, and one of them was like, one of the people was like, "Yo, let us get in his truck and talk to him." That's when I was started to feel uncomfortable. I told him to go back to the party and leave my personal life out of it. And they didn't take it very well. Well, one of them. And one of the guy came towards me, and he was ready to start something, like I don't know, like a fight or a scene. But thankfully, his friends or his group of people hold him back, and I managed to leave without escalating further. But looking back, I kind of regret my reaction. I could have said something calmer, or maybe just let it go. But in a moment, I feel cornered. It's just like I feel weird. But anyways, fast forward to a couple years later, I decided to give the party another try with a close friend of mine. We got a couple of drinks beforehand to feel a little buzzed, but I stayed careful. We were early, so we hung out in the car. Like we were here early at the party, so we just hung out at the car while we waited for things to get going. And when we finally went in, I was feeling tipsy but clear-headed, and the vibe was pretty chill. I got a few complaint. No, I'm not complaints. I got a few compliments of my outfit, which was just a rhinestone hoodie and cargos, or cargo pants, not cargos, but cargo pants, and that made me feel good. People were dressed in costumes, which was cool. Oh my gosh, which was cool to see. But costumes were optional to wear. So I was fine in what I had on, and the first hour or so was fun. I met some interesting people with real goals and plans, and we had some good conversation. But things took a turn. Like my friend accidentally bumped into this guy, and the guy immediately got defensive, saying like, "Yo, you got a problem?" And my friend apologized and walked away. But as soon as he walked off, I heard the guy mutter about he wanted to beat his ass and all, and like it made me think like, why did he react like that? Like, was it just to impress the girl he was with, or is he just insecure? Either way, it's just a reminder that real confidence is quiet. People are secure, and people who are secure don't need to flex or put on a show, you know. So like if you ever find yourself in that kind of situation, ask yourself like, is it really worth it? Like sometimes the strongest thing you can do is just walk away. Um, but like it may look like you're weak, but it's the best option to do it because like you don't want to start anything or whatever. But anyways, so after that, I got back, to enjoy the party, but I couldn't help noticing that some people were really pushing their limits. Like, like I don't know, there was this girl who had obviously had too much to drink, and her friend was trying to look out for her, even even taking her drink away at that point, And I asked her friend if I could check in and ask her, a couple of personal questions, and her friend was totally fine with it. So I gently asked the girl why she was drinking so much and what was going on with her, and her friend looked surprised, like like maybe she hadn't, thought of, I thought about it way before, like I don't know. I feel like she never asked that type of question to her friend, um, like But anyways, I ended up giving her a bit of advice on finding herself and staying true to who she is. But just that I was getting into it, my friend's buddy interrupted, saying like, let her enjoy the party, like let her enjoy the night. She's not gonna remember this tomorrow, and maybe they were right. But her friend was listening, and I wanted her to feel connected, to know for her friend's story and be there for her, And after that, I just felt out of place, like out of place. I left without saying goodbye. My head was spinning a bit, not just from the drinks, but everything from what I seen. Like seeing people lost in the moments, it made me feel sad. Um, I know that it's just a party, but to me, people's struggles are real. Like they are worth paying attention to. But looking back, I regret going. Because I don't think partying isn't for me. So, or is for me. So I went to have a good time, but I ended up feeling more reflective than anything else. I know it might sound strange, but that's just me. I care about people and their stories, and sometimes that makes me the odd one out of the party. But yeah, anyways, that's my life update. So now let's get into today's episode.
That was great, actually.
So on my first episode, I did talk about my little self situation, but this episode is the time to explain my fourth grade self. A time when I faced some real challenges, and I remember feeling out of place and struggling with both of my schoolwork and social life. And looking back, those experiences shaped who I am now, but they weren't easy. My hope for today is to share some of that story and to share. Oh yeah, is to share some of the story with and talk about how it's okay to be yourself, even when it feels like you're on your own. So if you ever felt different and misunderstood, this episode is for you. So get your drinks or food in a cozy place to chill, and let's get started to the story. The story about my fourth grade is gonna be me not paying attention to the class, and it was reading class, but they do others like math and science, and I remember I wouldn't do nothing on that class because my ADHD has taken over me, and I would not read books that other students were reading. Like the teacher wouldn't let me read a young adult books or chapter books because of my low Lexile, and I wouldn't do homework at home but just do it with my tutor. But about my low Lexile, the teacher or the school system put me in a program where students who have the lowest the Lexile or don't read, um, like the program's goal is to help me and other students to gain and improve their Lexile. But spoiler, I still had the lowest Lexile on the whole grade, even middle school and high school. And another spoiler, around middle school and 7th grade, they sent a letter to my parents stating that I won't make it into high school because of my lowest Lexile. And to be honest, I was so upset and looked at myself as a failure to my parents because they were, in tears. And, enough of spoiling, but hopefully I can make another episode in the future. But let's get back into my 4th grade, me, myself. So yeah, I was struggling on getting my Lexile up, but I wouldn't read books that they suggested me to read, or even answer random questions. And oh my gosh, like in the system, like when you finish the book, like you're supposed to take a quiz or whatever. And yeah, like it's just like, I don't know, man. And I would get them all wrong because, like I said, I never read books or read the books, um like not even a first page. Like, to be honest, like looking back, I never had anyone or asking teachers asking for help or assistance because I was a shy, quiet person on the school. I was pretty nervous to talk to people and even scared of talking, but I don't know what made me scared of talking. It just feels like you're a ghost and no one is noticing, except for my tutor, because he knows my parents and he knows me too well ever since, but he doesn't know behind the scenes, but he just knows me like personally. um it felt like he was my dad, but not really my dad. My real dad is really nice and better, but it just felt like he was there for me. But it's my tutor. But let's talk about my social life on 4th grade, of what I have challenged by society. um whenever I go to school every day, my parents dress me up and put me on random outfit. Like, I will wear outfits that were used or even new, but mostly it would be thrift clothes because my parents were so poor and they try to make me feel comfortable, and they try their best to my outfit look nice, and they will give me a buzz cut whenever my hair gets long. And because they couldn't afford to get a barbershop. Well, they can, but they decided not to because they were saving money. But little me, little Henry, didn't judge the outfit, the looks, or whatever. I was just little and I had no idea what was my parents going through. But at least they're trying their best to make me feel comfortable, and they've been making me feel comfortable ever since. But when I'm not with them and I'm at school, many kids were laughing at my outfits and saying that their outfits are expensive than mine, and others were calling my names and slurs, and even make fun of my haircut and laugh at me when I'm like alone in the playground or at lunch, or even pick me and just call me names. And for your information, like, let me just tell you behind my name. My name wasn't Henry with an H. It was a J, and it's in Spanish. Like, when like they put ha ha ha, they put J A because in Spanish it's ha 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 ha, like it's an H. But yeah, man, like so many kids call me, Jenny or Jennifer, and I was an easy target for most of all kids because they knew I was so quiet and wouldn't say anything to the teachers and my parents. And you know what? They were right. When I got home after what just happened, my parents always asked me if I did good in school and how was it, and I lied to them and saying that it was fun and enjoyed the day. But once I got in my room, which I owned it, well, I mean, it was sharing, but I just lay down in my bed and crying quietly and just thinking about those comments and the way people treated me. Like I didn't know what being sad or bullied is until that happened, you know. And one other thing I was scared of people or could say like why I'm not honest or strong to myself is that I'm scared that what will happen next. Like am I going to get beaten up or am I the problem for being honest? Because one time a student and his friends were making fun of me and calling me names at recess while I was sitting down at the bench talking to myself and just reflecting myself about why I'm so lonely and how can I be more social to others. And I ignored their comments. I mean, I overheard them, but I ignored it. And I thought I was strong, but no. Cause one of the friend came up and I would never forget this on what he said. He told me that I hope I don't exist, and even my family. They were laughing and had no empathy, and I didn't say that he went too far, like their friends didn't tell them that he went too far. And I cried at the bench and they left me alone because they saw my tears and crying a lot. And when recess ended, the teacher saw me crying alone and I didn't pay attention to the bell. She asked me if what happened, and you might think like I told her the truth and being honest, but I didn't. uh I lied to her and told her that I fell hard at the playground and landed I fell hard at the playground and landed hard at the wood chips, like every recess has chips, to for safety, so not concrete. But she took me to the office to let my tears go away and to cool myself. But my main concern is that she didn't check my body on where I got hurt. I mean, mostly teachers care about students' health and don't want them to be injured, but she didn't check on me or even took me to the nurse. And to be honest, it felt like nobody was there for me to support me because I was quiet and alone. And I feel like I deserved nothing on this earth, but I was never thinking about suicide or taking drugs because, little me didn't know what it was. But no, yeah, I was just a lonely kid with no support and being mistreated and just being myself. But I'm gonna share a positive thing because right now I just feel sad, and that's okay because my story is valuable to share, and I want you guys to feel empathy and feel connected and understand why what I went through. Um, even have connection to those people who face situations because we're not alone in our stories, or your stories are worth hearing. But my positive memory that I enjoyed was, from my tutor because he kept me entertained and enjoying my life. And oh my gosh, I can't. Like, bro, see this? Like, I was like crying when I was like typing this. Um, and he even makes me forget like on what I was going through. Like one time, my tutor took me and my brother to a farm event, and it was so much fun because we saw bunnies and turkeys and cows, but they were in the barn. And my top three favorite about the farm event, was riding the horse, which is number one because I never went to a horse ride in my life, and it was a fun experience. Like little me felt like a cowboy, and I was just having fun. And funny part is that I kept going on the horse ride like 4 times because it was a fun experience. And yeah, and it was just, yeah, it was I would never forget about it. But second, it was the haze maze, and it was so fun because we got each other a flashlight, and our goal was to look around the maze. And once we get quote unquote lost, our mission is to find our way to in a pitch dark maze. But remember, we got a flashlight. So while me and my brothers were inside, we heard people screaming, and I was confused why. and found out that they put, fake insects or and bugs on the maze to scare us. And I didn't fall for it because I wasn't scared of insects and bugs as well. Because one fun fact about me is that I was never scared of spiders or anything scary, or like scary bugs or insects, because I know which spider and insects that are harmful and which are friendly. But anyways, back to my story. I remember I turned off my flashlight and pretended I was lost. I lost my brother, and yes, I was mean to him, but hey, we're brothers. But we forgive each other. It was a fun experience, and I remember I would stay there for a little longer because it was fun and a good experience. And third was feeding the goats with corn, and we each got a bag filled with corn, like dry corn, and our task was to feed goats, and of course, you know, and it was quite a peaceful experience, if you could say, because some goats were pushing each other, and it was funny for other people, but for me, I feel bad because the adult ones have the advantage of the little baby goats, and for me, I care for them and try my best to feed them, and I did. Well, tried my best because I feeded four baby goats and not the adult ones. Um, because I know damn well that they ate so much corn. And there was another activity where they have a horse ride and or a wagon, like I don't know. But there was, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it was my favorite, but yeah, it was like a horse ride, like in a wagon. And if I'm right, I don't know. Like I don't know if I'm right, like like the wagon. I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but it was boring. But it was boring. But could say it was fun because they had bunnies, and we had to pet it and feed them with carrots. But I found out that it's kind of harmful because they only eat low sugar things, and the carrots has high sugar. But at least they knew what their limit was, because we only gave them like a little piece of it, not the whole carrot, because which is good, because carrot is like a dessert for them in their perspective. But other than that, the ride was slow and peaceful, but it was kind of quiet because we were just hearing the horse foot. But it was fun though. And it's not my experience to enjoy because I'm that type of person who likes fun and entertaining activities. But that event happened in fall, and one memory that I would never forget is that my tutor invited me and my brother on a Christmas party. And I also forgot to mention, my tutor was in a program called Kids Hope USA. And if y'all ever had a tutor on that program, please feel free to share your story from your tutor. Sorry. Please feel free to share your story from your tutor, because I'm so interested hearing yours. So message me on my Instagram or email me about your story, and I'm gonna put it in my description, because this time I won't say my username in my email, so just to save y'all time. But on YouTube, I'm gonna put the title on the video. But I know people on Spotify doesn't know that I have a YouTube channel, because after I uploaded the first episode on Spotify, I made the channel. So I'm also gonna put that in my YouTube, in the description, my YouTube channel. And yeah, so I'm hoping to do a vlog, or I don't know, but who knows? Cause I got plans to chase. But back to my tutor invited me and my brother to go to the Christmas party, and it was at a church building, and it was so much fun because we got pizza, played activities, and got gifts from the program, and it was game activities to play. And not gonna lie, I'm assuming that all the students didn't like the gift, but to me, I enjoyed and actually played it with my brother. That's just my thoughts on when people, I'm assuming that people didn't like it, but after the Christmas party, my tutor gave me a present for himself, and I was actually happy and enjoyed. Like, I was actually happy, and he got me a drone, and it had a camera, and little me actually enjoyed it because I was into technology when I was little. Like, I was the kid who knows YouTubers, games on the computer, and other things that people do on the internet. Like, I remember watching Minecraft YouTubers who were not popular, and those YouTubers I remember was Dan TDM and Popular Most and Vanos Gaming. But Popular Most, sooner or later they separated because of him. But oh well, none of my concern. But yeah, my tutor gave me a drone, and I would always go outside and capture some videos, and it was a fun experience. But it's not just my tutor who lets my problem go away. My mom and my dad will always be there for me when like and always be there for me, and they would like get me things, and they try to make me feel comfortable, but they would get me clothes every Friday, and sometimes cool toys, and mostly it would be thrift clothes. And little me didn't give no shits because I was just enjoying my life, and I'm glad I wasn't a spoiled kid because I didn't know what were my parents going through until I was in sixth grade. But I will tell you about my middle school me because not gonna lie, I would say I was annoying and immature, but to be honest, I could care less on what people think. Cause not gonna lie, I was just being myself and enjoying my life. I did face some challenges, and I will tell you the most dumbest and embarrassing thing I did. But anyways, that was my challenge that I faced when I was in fourth grade. I cried when I was typing this story, but now that I'm speaking, it just makes me bring back memories and feel upset. But it's a good thing that I'm sharing because I feel way stronger by sharing my moments I faced when I was little. And I want everyone to feel connected and know that we are not alone on what we're going through because some of you have been bullied or been misunderstood. And if you haven't been bullied, misunderstood, I want you to know that everyone has a story on what they went through, and it's not worth to be bullying or mistreating them. But other than that, let's get into lessons learned. About the lessons learned we're gonna talk about, it's just gonna be me. What are the lessons that I learned? So, starting off with number one is resilience in the face of struggles. So, going through challenges in fourth grade taught me resilience in ways I could have imagined at the time. With ADHD, every day I was reading in class felt like a battle. I struggled to keep up with other students and often placed in the special programs because my reading levels or Lexile scores were low. While other kids read young adults novels and I was restricted to simpler books, which felt frustrating and isolating. On top of that, I faced constant bullying. Kids made fun of me for my clothes, my haircut, and even my quietness. Every day, I'd experienced harsh words and exclusion, making school feel more like a battlefield than a place to learn. At first, I didn't understand what resilience meant. Um, all I knew was that every day felt like a new challenge, and it took all my energy to keep going. But looking back, I can see that even in those painful moments, I was building strength despite feeling defeated. And I held into small moment of joy, like time spent with my tutor or my family. My parents did their best to support me, even with the little they had. And my tutor made me feel valued and accepted. Those moments taught me that no matter how difficult things become, I could find pieces of happiness that reminded me life was still worth enjoying. I now understand that resilience is isn't about having an easy path or avoiding struggles. It's all it's about getting through those struggles bit by bit and finding reasons to keep going even when life feels hard. The pain of those years gave me a foundation of strength, and I hope that sharing my story will help others see that no matter how tough things get, resilience is built through each challenge, and it's okay to struggle it's okay to struggle, to feel pain, and to not always have the answer. True resilience comes from pushing through, learning from the hard moments, and discovering who you are in the process. And number 2, empathy for other stories. Experiencing a bullying and feeling invincible during my 4th grade year taught me the true powers and importance of empathy. When I faced constant ridicule for things beyond my control, my clothes, my quietness, and even my name, I began to understand on a deeply personal level what it felt like to be judged, misunderstood, and dismissed. Those experiences through painful opened my eyes to the inner struggles that others might be going through, even when they don't show it on the outside. I know what it feels to be alone, to go through challenges without anyone truly understanding, and that has given me a deep sense of compassion for others. I've come to realize that everyone has their own unique story, often filled with unseen struggles and hidden pain. By acknowledging my own experiences, I hope to create a space where others feel safe and valued, where they can share their stories and without fear of judgment. I want people to know that they're not alone in their battles, and that their in their own battles, and that their voice matters, even if they've been made to feel otherwise. This understanding of empathy isn't just a feeling. It's a driving force behind how I connect with others, and I'm committed to treating people with kindness, listening openly, and encouraging others to share their stories too. By doing so, I believe we can help one and another to find comfort, strength, and a sense of belonging. So number 3, appreciation for true support. My tutor, my family, and the few people who showed me kindness were my support system. Even if it felt like no one else noticed. I learned I learned how valuable it is to have people in your life who care, especially when things feel overwhelming. This has taught me to recognize and appreciate support, and offer the same support that others whenever I can. Like if I didn't, like, I don't know, this is my opinion, I'm not gonna share. Like, if I didn't have support or a tutor, without them, I would have moved to another school if I exposed my feelings to my parents, but I didn't because I didn't want to, because I didn't want them to be panicked and be so worried. I don't know, I just don't want them to see them be upset, like what I was going through. So anyways, other than that, number 4, the power of being yourself. My experiences in 4th grade taught me how important and powerful it is to stay true to who I am, even when it feels easier to hide or change myself to fit in. Back then, I felt the pressure to act differently to avoid standing out as the quiet kid, quote unquote, and the one who didn't fit in. I was sometimes tempted to change who I was to escape being the target of jokes or stares, but over time, I began to realize that my difference, my quietness, my unique perspective weren't weakness. They were simply part of who I was. And learning to accept these parts of myself has been a journey. And it taught me that I don't need to apologize for who I am, even if others don't always understand me. There's a strength in embracing what in there's a strength in embracing what makes me unique, and it's my strength that I can take into every aspect of my life. By being true to myself, I can show up authentically for others, especially through my podcast. Instead of trying to be what others might want, I can be fully honesty myself and trust that the right people will appreciate that. This lesson encourages me to encourage others to do the same by sharing our stories openly and embracing our true selves and letting go of the need for outside approval. We can create a space that feels real, honest, and safe. Number 5, recognizing self-worth beyond others' opinions. So, my childhood experiences taught me that my worth isn't defined by others' opinions. Even when others try to make me feel small, I found reasons to keep going on, hold on to positive parts of myself. This journey helped me see that self-worth comes within, not from what others say or think. But I hope listeners can take away that same message, like no one else can define your value except you. And if I could offer any advice, like that's all from the lessons I learned. Those are the lessons that I learned, and and if I could offer any advice to someone facing similar struggles, it would be this: embrace what makes you unique. Those qualities you think set you apart in ways that make that feel you. Okay, let me repeat that. Those qualities you think set you apart in ways that feel difficult or lonely right now. They're also what make you feel special, and lean into them. Like, seek out people who genuinely see and value you for who you are, whether that's friends, family, a teacher, or anyone who truly supports you. Remember that every challenge you face is a stepping stone to growth. And I know it may sound like a cliche or cliche. I don't know I don't know if I can say it. I don't know if I said it right. But going through tough times um, taught me strength, resilience, and self-belief I never like self-belief I never knew I had. Without those experiences, I wouldn't be who I am today, and I wouldn't see the world in the way I do. So keep going, trust your journey, and know that everything you're facing is helping you to shape you into the incredible person you're becoming. So now that we talked about that topic of lessons and that I learned and given advice, let's talk about personal reflection. As I look back at my fourth grade self, I can see now how much those moments shaped who I am today. The isolation, the struggles with ADHD, the the frustration of feeling different in class. All of it taught me resilience. I don't know if I said it. I know I said it right in the first time, but in ways that I didn't fully understand at the time. It helped me build a mindset that sees strength and vulnerability, and it taught me that everyone, no matter how they seem on the outside, is going through something. My experiences show me that the value of kindness, both towards others and myself, and they deepened my sense of empathy for each person's unique journey. So I hope that by sharing these memories, I might remind you of your own strength and encourage you to show yourself compassion, especially in the moments where you feel alone. Remember, it's okay to face challenges and to feel unsure. Those are the moments those are the moments that help you grow, or us grow. Like, I want you to I want you to, reflect on yourself and what were you going through in your childhood, and like I want you to see yourself now. Like, what was your strength? Like who are you today? Like, what were your things that you were going through as a kid? So yeah, like, to those people who have been bullied or misunderstood, or even those who haven't been bullied or misunderstood, I want you to reflect on your childhood, on what are things that you going through, what were your things that that you're stressed or struggling, and here now, who are you today, and what are things that you accomplished. But yeah, but unfortunately, this is gonna be the end of the today's episode. But thanks for tuning in, and and I hope hearing a bit of my podcast, or no, I hope hearing a bit about my past has sparked some reflection on your own experiences. So remember, we're all going through something, and sometimes the best thing we can do is share our stories. So if you feel like opening up or want to contribute your own story to the podcast, send an email, to it's undercontrol@gmail.com. Um, this is a judgment-free space where you can be yourself. So next time, I'll be diving into my middle school year, the challenges I still face with reading, and my Lexile level, the continued teasing from others, and other lessons I learned along the way. I'll also talk about how I discovered YouTube and content creation, which opened up a whole new world for me. And yes, I did manage to make a couple of friends who helped me get through those tough times. Some were fake, which I didn't know, but hey, it happens, and I will talk about it. So until next time, take care and keep embracing on your own journey and chase your dreams. Peace.